Hi, everyone. I'm here today to help you help your students or your children at home expand their language. This is intended for those that might be on the autism spectrum, or they might just have a language delay, and you're hoping to give them 2-word, 3-word, 5-word communication. I'm going to show you 2 different techniques that I have used with my students and have seen some success, and hopefully it'll work for you too. Let's start with the first one. I'm going to move the camera down so that you can see the page that I'm looking at. This comes from a speech workbook that I have, but I'm sure that you can find any pages with people on them. Just need to have like pronouns, he, she, they. And what you're going to do is you're going to use pacing coins for our speech therapists. That might just be some magnets. If you're a parent at home, you can use buttons, you can use pennies, just something to help the children pace. So I'm going to put 3 coins in front of this picture, and I'm simply going to say, she is walking, and I'm going to have them say those words with me. She is walking, and maybe they'll want to push the coins. She is walking, and then I move to the next page or the next picture. They are writing. They are writing. He is swinging. They are running. And then you repeat this with each picture. She is swimming. He is jumping. They are laughing. She is sitting. He is pointing. She is sleeping. They are writing. She is diving. He is baking. She is driving. He is climbing. He is listening. They are tugging. She is waving. He is singing. They are reading. And hopefully you can get them to expand their language that way. If you're just at 2 words, you can simply do she walks, they ride, he swings. You can start with just 2 words as well if you have students that aren't doing, if they're only doing 1 word right now. The next technique that I would like to show you is one that I've actually worked with a high school student with. Last year, the goal was 2 to 3 words, and we thought that that was a large goal, and we were happy when we got to his IEP this year and realized that we needed to bump that goal up to 5 to 8 words. So this is to encourage those of you that have students that are only using echolalia, which this student was, only using echolalia. And if you're not familiar with that term, it simply means that the student is just echoing what you're saying. They don't have any spontaneous conversation. So you're hoping to give that student some spontaneous conversation by giving them scripts. And so this next technique I want to show you is a combination of parallel talk and modeling. If you're unfamiliar with parallel talk, you usually use this with preschool students or students that are just developing language, where you do all the talking for them while you're working with them, while you're playing with them. So if you're at home, you might say, Mom's fixing dinner right now, Mom's making sandwiches, John is playing with Legos, John is building a tower, John is my son, which is why I'm using that name. So at any rate, I'm going to show you on this page what I have done with this student. Hopefully you can see this here. First of all, I like to date the piece of paper. As a parent, you might want to do this just so that you can see the progress that your child is making at home. And you kind of have to know your student or your child to know what they like so that you can talk for them. And in this case, I knew that this student liked chocolate milk, specifically from a bottle. And so I just wrote all of these sentences out. This is actually a sentence that became very spontaneous. And so I also know that this student would work for Dr. Pepper and that it's their favorite drink. And so I just write out the sentences for them, and then I use the pacing coins just like I did with the previous picture. And this student in particular likes to make a pattern when they work on their sentence expansion. And so I do it just like this. I like chocolate milk in a bottle. And then the student says it back to me while either they push the coins or I do. I like chocolate milk in a bottle. And then eventually, believe it or not, this student, all I had to do was push the coins and they were able to say that whole sentence. Now, mind you, they also have the words here. So you're kind of helping them learn how to read as well as speak. And then the next sentence that we did together was, what time is it now? What time is it now? This kid constantly wanted therapy to be over and would look at the timer every 30 seconds. What time is it now? What time is it now? I will work for Dr. Pepper. You can decide if Dr. Pepper is one or two words. And again, you go through and you do every single sentence like that. The students then begin to pick up those things. You can even have them practice it with people in the house. I have done that with the students in the classroom where we have learned basic conversation. Once they've done this on the piece of paper over and over and over again, they might go around and say, I like chocolate milk in a bottle. And then the teachers or the peers or the parents or siblings would say, really? I like, and then it's a conversation piece. So these are two techniques that I use. I hope they work for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them and I will get back with you as soon as possible. Thanks.